Hello. Welcome to my channel and my workshop. Hello, I'm Doug. Welcome. One of my favorite little things to do, go on Etsy and Pinterest. Look for something really cool, seeing if I'm capable of pulling it off, and basically just plagiarizing somebody else's idea. I never call it my own, but it is a great way to practice and make some cool stuff and learn a little. I think it's awesome. I do it all the time. There's so much stuff. People are so clever and talented, whereas me personally have no skill or talent or ability of any kind. I'm not creative or artistic in any way, so I kind of rely on that. But today I thought we'd try something different and actually make something. And there are no videos of this I was taught back in 1979. I was a wee little Dougie, super little. One of my earliest memories, quite frankly. I imagine my dad was broke and he needed Christmas gifts. And that's where I learned how to do this, or at least remember. I somehow remembered most of it. And it just came to me recently. I had forgotten all about it. And they're still floating around too, the gifts. He made probably half a dozen of them and gave them out to certain people. They're still floating around out there, but I just remember, it just dawned on me recently, and it was a great little crafty little project. You don't need hardly anything either. Yay, my laundry's done. Laundry day. Throw my stuff in the dryer. I really think you'll like this project. It's gonna be very, very simple. So I'll take you over and show you what you'll need, which is very little. Wood off the bat. So when I had done this, I recall he had me stain the wood with something. I don't remember what. I do remember some kind of stain, and it may have been something that had like a polyurethane mixed in with it because they were shiny. So that I'm not sure about. So I'm gonna try a few different ways. I'm gonna try to make a few. Try one without stain, try one with stain. One's already stained. I had tried something. I had wood burned a big scene, big deer forest scene, and then stained it thinking it was going to look good. And in my mind it looked fabulous, but in practice it did not come out at all. So I have that. To work with, among other pieces, and it'll be up to you. I mean, this is probably about your average size, what you'll find laying around, or what you would buy if you were buying, say, cutoffs, or people are selling or giving cutoffs away. It's about your average size. Somebody has a big project, or a sawmill, lumber mill, something. They don't usually mess with stuff this size. They just cut their dimension, and usually these are easy to come by. This is our average size, I would imagine, close to it. You could go buy a board at Home Depot, a pine board, probably like $20 for a pretty tall board, like an 8-foot board, and you would get a lot of these out of that. I buy 12-footers because they're cheaper, because they're so long. Nobody else, even pickup trucks. And then I just bring my little saw like this with me and then cut it, and I take it home in my Honda. The two 6-foot sections fit. I get a funny look, but I'm just zipping them in half really quick. It takes 2 seconds. I zip them in half right in the parking lot. But, so yeah, if you bought a board of pine, and you do just get the cheapest stuff you can, because you're basically going to cover it. So that's one option, but most people have something laying around. It could even be something small. Where is my small board? I have even a smaller board I wanted to do also. But anyway, get that later. Something else you'll want for this project is a rasp. These are so cheap and they're everywhere. I wanted a new one. They're on Amazon for $6. So I ordered a new rasp. They're 4-way. They're called 4-ways, I think. But there's a million kinds, but this is the kind you'll want for this. And they're so simple and they're everywhere. You know, it's not a must. What this is for decorating the edge really simply and crudely giving a scalloped edge. It actually comes out okay. And you may want some sandpaper too. I didn't think of that, but depending on how good you are with this, you don't want to leave a bunch of rough edges. So you may need some sandpaper, but maybe not, because there's a smooth side too. Yep, it's called a rasp, a 4-way. A saw of some type. It could be anything. Anything, it could be anything. Whatever you got. Handsaw, sawzall, whatever. Table saw, circ, whatever, you know. If you've got a board and you're going to be having to cut stuff anyhow. And the other thing, which some of my younger viewers may not be familiar with, but back in the day before the internet, this is how we all had to learn and explore our interests, was through these things called magazines. But I went and I was able to find in every one of these a acceptable, reasonable picture for this project, and most of them are gorgeous pictures actually. If I was able to find something in every one of these that's totally fine and acceptable. I had these just laying around up in my attic. So just find a picture that catches your eye. It doesn't have writing or people in it. Cut her out. Actually, I may try a razor blade instead of scissors. As much as the margin as I can. I can't remember, and for some reason I recall, and I could be wrong on this, staining the wood and then just slapping this down right onto the stain. And I may be wrong on that. We're going to try it both ways just to see. The picture that I had picked out was a forest scene, and I think the stain kind of gave the picture a bit of a weathered look that added to it, so I don't know if we'll always want that, and I can't remember for sure because I was so little. But I, growing up, had seen some of these that we did, you know, for a couple years. As a kid, growing up, I would, you know, see these gifts at people's houses. Okay, these were some of the better pictures I had come across. This one's got writing on it, so I'm going to just cut out around it. And he also had, we burned the edges, kept putting it out. I don't know if we'll go that far, we may, I don't know. It would depend on your picture, I guess. That probably wouldn't work on all pictures. It wouldn't really add to it much. Hopefully you can see all that it is. Probably help if I turn the light on, I guess, eh? That may help. Just one. Yep, I was able to find stuff in all these pretty good pictures too. They'll all probably look really good, hopefully. There's stuff in every page of this one. Get around here, right? Little arrow. It's a tough call. Which one's better? I think I like this one better. There's even just a ton of good looking pictures in some of these. The one barely had any. I think, I don't know, I think it was this one, but like a Better Homes and Gardens will probably have a million good pictures, stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of good pictures in some of these. And you could get creative. Even any of these would make a nice little picture, pretty much. Even something abstract. But yeah, that's the idea. Sometimes they're so good you wish there was no writing on there, but every now and then you'll see one that doesn't. It would be like, wow, that would work really good. Anyway, I don't even recall if I made it through this whole book before I stopped, because I found a whole bunch. And even this, look at this. It's a bundle of mums on somebody's head. It's like, you get creative and do whatever you want. Find that picture of whatever and it's gonna look good. You'll be happy with it, I guarantee it. Even this. I was gonna try a different picture, but you know what? Just to prove my point, I'm gonna take something so ordinary and random, and it's gonna look great. Something even better. Easy killer. Oh, that darn writing ruins it every time. Thinking about one of the houses with the other guy writing on it. There are a couple really good pet pictures. That's a good one. Could have got that one. There's a whole bunch of them. We could have done all of them in one thing. We could try that. That's an idea. Okay, so because I don't want this to take too long, I'll pause it while I get the rest of these cut out. Okay, we're cut out. I found all kinds of good stuff. So again, wood, some magazines to grab some pictures out of, or any source. It could be anything, whatever your resources allow. And the one thing I kind of forgot about that's sort of significant is either some of this, some polyurethane. You can get a little one of these for about $6. they're not very expensive for the little one. The bigger ones get expensive. But you can also get this lacquer. Lacquer don't do in the house. These other ones you probably get away with in the house. Lacquer you cannot. Polyacrylic, this does like $6 a can. One can will probably be enough for, unless you're doing a whole bunch, but for a couple for sure enough. There was another, what was it? Oh, clear coat paint will also work. I am going to go with polyurethane. Actually, we'll mix it up. We'll do a couple of everything. Just to see, because I don't recall, and I'm curious. This is a little experiment. You know, the last time I did this, I was about 7 or 8 years old. So, the memory's a bit foggy. That is one thing, yep. And stain, that's optional. If you want to stain your board or not, that's optional. In some cases, it'll add to it. You don't have to have it. I believe that is everything. So, a saw, some magazines, wood, polyurethane of some type, clear coat, lacquer, some type of coating. And that'll protect it too, and it'll also keep the UV and fluorescent light from affecting it adversely like it does. Fluorescent light has a bad effect on yellow ink. It starts to fade it. So I can imagine what it does to our eyes and body. But anyway, what do we got? I was gonna go cut a piece of wood off a board. Probably don't even need to. These are pretty small. Well, this one's kind of big. But yeah, I'll go over and get a light on. So I'll just do it with a hand saw. I won't use like a table saw or anything. Just for the heck of it. Yeah, so it's not super loud in your ear. I'll probably stick the mic in my pocket for a minute. Straight, not even close. Okay. Stay there for part 2, I suppose. And that will be rasping these edges. And it's optional. You don't have to rasp the edges. That was just something that I remember doing, so I just kind of want to do it for the nostalgia of it. There's a million things. Some of you very well may have routers and such, and you could round the ends over and do whatever you'd like to it. But if not, jump on Amazon, get the old $6 rasp. Move something around here. Should pause it because I'm worried about the time length. Okay, I'm gonna cut one more piece in a different saw. These are really nice. These little battery powered circ saws are pretty nice. it's not as nice as that first one I used. The jigsaw is really the best. It's the safest, easiest thing to use. You can carry that with you too for cutting apart skids. Oh, it's the best. That little thing is awesome. And you know, this thing eats up batteries. You don't get too many cuts or skids anyway. Out of one full charge battery, you'll get 2 skids. These are expensive batteries. I don't have a whole bunch of rigid batteries because they're so pricey. Oh, the cheapest ones are about $90 each, and they go up from there. Yeah, this thing eats up batteries a lot quicker than the other one. And you would never want to cut a piece of wood like I'm about to do. This is breaking every safety rule possible. In fact, I probably shouldn't even do it, being I am making a video and all. Maybe I better not be such an idiot about it. Just because people's safety is on, it's pretty important. Anyway, I think it's okay to do the dumb stuff that I do. But this is the safest saw in the shop. You are not going to get hurt with this. I remember being afraid to use this when I was a kid. I was scared to death to use it, but honestly, it's so safe. It is so safe, especially if it's a variable speed where you can, go nice and slow and easy. You really had nothing to worry about. And this, you could do angles and miters and quite a bit with this. Oh, screw it. Just be careful, Your safety's in your hands. They're both very nice. That's far more dangerous, but it cuts nice. Okay. You can do it with a handsaw. You don't need a power tool. Next, we'll scallop an edge. I lost my rasper ready. Rasper. If you had like a power sander or a belt sander, a disc grinder, you can use almost anything. Especially a sander. You would just be able to put your own little indents in there with the sander, which I could do also, but for some reason I'm dying to try it and do it with this, just like the old days. I don't remember what we did to get even spacing. You start the middle and work your way out, or what? I don't remember what the procedure was on that. I wonder if I should map them out just so I don't end up all wonked, which I know I will anyway, no matter what I do. I'll end up with half of one somewhere. Well, let me go through and map this out and see what the best way is, because I do not recall, and then I'll get back, because I just don't want the video to run too long. Okay, anyway, I sliced it. It did not work out, so we're just going to wing it and hope for the best. I was going to try and start from the middle or start halfway from the middle. And it seemed like that was the best way, is find the middle and then go like halfway out from there. I have never used one of these since that day. This will be the first time I've ever used one of these since I was that day. How deep to go? God, my hands are messed. Got a lot of ink, yellow ink problems. Okay, I guess. I'll screw up one or two of them at least, but so far, so good. It's pretty easy. I don't even recall where I had this, but I've had it as long as I can remember. I don't even know where I got it. I think it's an actual Nicholson too, which is like top of the line. Old school. Maybe European. British Sheffield steel or whatever, known for their files. Taco night. Okay, well you got the idea. I'm gonna burn through them all and seeing if about whatever it takes, a few minutes at least. Okay, blackout. Almost done. I got a couple more. Didn't take that long. My screen didn't even time out, so under a couple minutes. Yeah, you know, it is a little bit tiring. After all that, I am a little bit tired. Not a lot, but just trying to keep them uniform was my only real focus. I actually started to count the strokes, so it was the same on every one. Not that it helped. It did a little bit. Where I was doing like 10 down and 4 up. I think I had 2 or 3 more. Sounds awful, so bare your ears. I'm not pushing super hard at all. I didn't bother to clean them up. I just kind of burned through them. I don't think you'd want to try this with plywood, although you could. Plywood edges would not look as nice, I feel, but it'll work. Sandpaper, maybe. Just to smooth it out a bit. Not great, my first time. Well, not technically, but first time since I was up. I gotta clean it up a bit. I'm just gonna take some sandpaper on my cloth tour. 800. I don't want to make you sit through that. Something important I forgot to mention too is you don't have to have a great piece of wood. In fact, a rustic, messed up piece kind of adds to it in a lot of cases. So yeah, I don't feel like you have to have like this greatest piece of wood. I think even a totally messed piece of wood works good in this situation. The old rustic look, they call it, I suppose. Looking forward to hand rasping every one of these boards. It did come out more uniform than I would probably get it with my power tools, because it's very hard to get a uniform on like a sanding machine. There's other options, but let me go through and do the rest. It'll take me forever, but I want to get the edges done and cleaned up, and then I'll unpause or come back. I'll be back shortly. Okay, just finishing up, scalloping it. It is a bit of a challenge. It's not like a walk in the park. It takes some work, especially with like the hardwoods. This oak is taking forever. slightly touch it up. Rustic. Alright, get this straightened up. Stopping and going. Having trouble finding a piece of wood that big. Still digging around looking for something. But I'm gonna get everything set up for the next step. Just had to like trim a couple of them to fit on the wood right, and then picking how I want them, but you'll see in a second. Alright, sorry to keep stopping it, which very unprofessional, not that I'm professional, which is terrible. It all kind of took a while. I could have set up a little better. I've been thinking about it for a week. I had plenty of time to get ready. This is what I laid out. I've got polyurethane, clear coat, lacquer, polyacrylic, which is almost empty. I'm going to order some of that. I really like this. A lot of people don't like this, but they say it makes it look too plasticky, which is fine with me. But I had to trim a lot of them back, which is always a bummer, having to trim your photos way back. But this one I decided to swap. It's upside down, isn't it? Let's see how they turn out. So, try and mix it up a little here.